Tab 8 has just released Arc 8 Chapter 38, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 8 Chapter 37 summary. Anyways, let's begin. Rowan Segmunt is a stargazer. He was a stargazer in the original sense of the word. Despite Vincent promoting Ublik to be the stargazer that advises the Emperor, a stargazer is someone who has a destiny and will throw away everything to reach that goal. Ublik was given the title that allowed him to move in and out of the castle to speak to Vincent. Rowan was also one who possessed a destiny. The desire to have a commandment and have a destiny was something many desired. Ublik was a male prostitute, and then he was then allowed to speak his mind to the Emperor. In other cases, mothers would forget their daughter, despite it being one of their crowning things that they should protect. By the way, editor's note, I'm pretty sure this is referring to Maruli, which is Tarita's soul sister. When she became a stargazer, she sort of neglected Utakata. Many stargazers have their lives twisted and are forced to change their way of life. However, they do not see that as a tragedy. Rather, they were given an ambition to fulfill, even if it took their whole lives. They felt happy because fulfilling this condition is as if they achieved the meaning of their birth. However, when it comes to the tragedies of stargazers, Rowan is no exception. Rowan's commandment was to reach the heavenly sword, the ultimate goal for a swordsman. Rowan, drinking alcohol, swayed like a dancer. Before the commotion of the black-haired prince started, the Empire smelled of blood. Rowan knew at the time that war was brewing, and he was right, and now even the lines between the living and dead was blurred. However, when there's a lot of chaos, and when steel can be refined, it is hard for a strong person to be born when it's extremely peaceful. They do not know where the soul comes from. However, it occupies a vessel of flesh. Those living in a turbulent time are given that gift. Rowan had many children until he had Cilus, and drenched in bathwater with the blade pressed against the neck, he was the only one who laughed. Rowan, however, believed he was born in the wrong era. The more turbulent the times, the stronger you are. The heavenly sword existed 400 years ago, during the age of the witch. It was great that everyone feared the witches. If born in those times, there was no fear that the path to the heavenly sword will be cut off. By the way, just in case you're wondering what's going on, Rowan believes he was born in the wrong time period because it was too peaceful. So Rowan likes it when there's a lot of war and chaos, because when there's more chaos, the stronger you become, and that way you can reach the path of the heavenly sword. That's the reason why he's envious of 400 years ago. Hey, are you sure you want to do this? Rowan turns around and looks at Heinkel. They were just drinking, and Heinkel was drunk previously, but now he looks sober. Rowan tells Heinkel to drink up, stating that the undead haven't gotten to the food and drinks yet. That was correct. The undead only looked for people to kill. They wanted blood. So they could drink all the alcohol that they wanted to, because they were untouched. Heinkel says that he doesn't really care about the food or alcohol, but wonders if Rowan will do it. Rowan is someone that cannot really guess people's emotions or feelings. This was a defect that was passed on to Cilus. Rowan asks if Heinkel is unsure about going along with the plan. Heinkel says that if there's a way for him to redeem himself, then he should do it. He cannot mess it up. Heinkel points to one of the pillars of the imperial capital. The capital had 5 towers. They were tasked with bringing one down. This was the foreshadowing to allow the heroes to succeed. Rowan and Heinkel were the only two here. Cilus, Groovy, and Aldebaran had separate missions. They had to open ways into the imperial capital. The way they entered the city was unconventional, so that they had to open routes for other people to enter the city, for the heroes to enter. We see, however, that Rowan isn't up to this plan. He actually doesn't care about it. Al wants to liberate the city from the undead. Rowan doesn't want that. He wants chaos. Heinkel asks if Rowan is siding with the undead. However, Rowan disagrees, saying that the situation is the way it is because of reasons. Heinkel says that regardless, Cilus likes the plan, and of course will go along with the plan. However, Rowan says that a man is a man and his son is his son. Furthermore, Rowan says that at Cilus' size, he cannot reach the heavenly sword, and he cannot cut down the man he needs to cut down. Rowan asks Heinkel why he reacted in such a way when hearing about Cilus' identity. Heinkel says that his name is Heinkel Astria. Rowan repeats the name before asking if Heinkel is from the family of sword saints. The Astria family of Lagunica is the strongest family in Lagunica, and it's rumoured to not only be the strongest family in Lagunica, but also of the world. Notably, Reinhard van Astria, the current sword saint, is said to be exceptional. Heinkel says he is the father of Reinhard van Astria. Rowan and Heinkel are the fathers of the Blue Thunderbolt and the Sword Saint. Rowan, however, says that it doesn't matter, saying that Heinkel is from a family that led to the Heavenly Sword. Rowan says that Reed Astria, the first Sword Saint, reached the pinnacle of the Heavenly Sword, and therefore, as swordsmen, they should strive for the summit. The title of Sword Saint is unique to the Astria family. However, the first generation of the Astria family revealed the concept of the Heavenly Sword, the pinnacle of all swordsmen, the transcendent. Rowan apologizes for disrespecting Heinkel, now knowing that he is a descendant of the Heavenly Sword, Reed Astria. Heinkel realizes that he is different from Rowan. Rowan says not to worry, after all you can't cut too deep, except through steel. Rowan says he will go off, leaving his drinking buddy behind. Heinkel asks Rowan what he is going to do, and Rowan replies, "A man has his own longing." The scene changes. Rowan Segmunt is a stargazer. Rowan had a personality, a life before being given his heavenly commandment. Rowan became engrossed in his destiny. However, those around him did not notice the change. That's because Rowan's goal in life was always to become the Heavenly Sword. Rowan defeated many enemies, killed many beasts, learned many techniques, and cut down many of the heads of teachers before forsaking their abilities, as it disrupted his own balance of the sword. He walked the path of blood so much to reach the path of the Heavenly Sword. The desire was too much. He couldn't reach it. He wanted to take his own life. And then, Rowan received his heavenly commandment and became a stargazer. His commandment was to reach the Heavenly Sword. Or, as he interpreted it, to create a being that could reach the Heavenly Sword in his stead. Rowan tried to reach the Heavenly Sword but failed. However, he can reach it if his seed reaches it. Therefore, through tireless efforts, Cilus Segmunt was born, the vessel to reach the Heavenly Sword, and Rowan fulfilled his task. When Rowan saw the child cackling at the blade pressed against his neck, the shackles that chained him were released. When the stargazer fulfills their destiny, they are released from their role. Once he was released from his shackles, he felt different. He had created a child with the talent to reach the Heavenly Sword, but now he didn't really know what to do. He had achieved his goal. Nothing mattered now. In the bathtub was Rowan. He wanted to take his own life. However, the feeble life before him held his finger with their hand. The baby left an immeasurable effect on Rowan, a person who could bathe in a lake of blood from all of the people he has killed. Rowan realized that the baby would reach the Heavenly Sword. he has been freed from his shackles as a stargazer. His son will reach the heavenly sword. However, now Rowan walks forward. He still has his own goal. His own goal now is to reach the heavenly sword again. The scene changes. Rowan walks forwards to the imperial palace. This is where the enemy leader is located, but that does not matter to Rowan. Let's get this straight. Rowan isn't here to kill the enemy leader. He doesn't care if the empire is destroyed. The more chaos, the better. He was here because of his son, not because of love or affection. Rowan chastises his son for not having the dream and the evil sword. After Cilus shrank, he gave up his 2 swords. The dream sword, Mazayume, and the evil sword, Murasame. There are only 10 swords of power in the world. To reach the heavenly sword, you need to have skill and talent, but you also need to wield good swords. Those 2 swords cannot be lost. Rowan doesn't know when Cilus will turn back, but he needs his swords. If Cilus reached the heavenly sword in this calamity, it wouldn't be good if he didn't have a suitable sword. After all, if Cilus reached the heavenly sword and then Rowan killed Cilus, it doesn't mean Rowan had reached the heavenly sword, since Cilus didn't own a sword. To prove that, Cilus must have a sword. Rowan calls Cilus stupid, saying he forgot his promise, a promise made between father and son. Rowan wanted Cilus to kill the emperor and make everyone attack Cilus, but Cilus said he didn't want to be a crude villain, and instead cut down Rowan, severely injuring him. However, Rowan told Cilus that when Cilus reached the heavenly sword, Rowan would come back and kill Cilus. Cilus of course agreed, and then let Rowan escape by dumping him into a river. Cilus lived north of the royal castle in a hut. Knowing Cilus, the swords would be located there. Rowan pressed forwards before jumping to the side. There was a gigantic crash where he stood. As the smoke billowed, Rowan looked at the person who attacked him, a woman with white hair and fox ears. She is alive. She's not a zombie. Rowan asks for her name, and she says, Iris. She says no one needs to die as she wields her sword. Rowan will not take her lightly since she has a strong aura around her. He readies his sword. No matter what, if there's someone in front of you, you need to remove the obstacle in your way, especially if they are powerful. The road to the heavenly sword is steep. I will cut you down and move on, Rowan says. And with that, the chapter ends. So, really good chapter. So it seems that Cilus is going to become the heavenly sword. And then I think Rowan wants to kill Cilus to prove that he is the heavenly sword, so he can reach his own goal. So even though he's fulfilled his commandment by having Cilus, he still has that personal goal of becoming a heavenly sword. And to do that, he needs Cilus to reach that title, and then he needs to kill Cilus so that sort of title is transferred over to him, so he could reach his own personal goal.